Okay, let's get into it. What do you say? Oh,
Okay, let me turn my mute off.
it's broken. Kind of go through the same thing each time, so I don't need to really go over this, but we do have an announcement that we've been talking about in-house here, me and Ashley. So we're going to be making some changes to our schedule. Mondays and Wednesdays in 2 different days. The time commitment is getting to be quite a bit for me with the time I leave open afterwards. And then on Wednesdays, the training, I can't really do anything before because of setup. And then I'm here usually 2 hours plus after. So we're going to consolidate days. So hopefully this works with most of you, but we're going to move both our mastermind and our trainings to Thursdays. This is going to start the first week in May. So you can see on here, we're going to just do back to back. We'll still record these if you can't attend on Thursdays, but coming in person obviously is always awesome, or on Zoom. But we're going to do this at night from 9:30 to 10:30 on Thursday morning. And then we're going to have just a little bit of break so I can switch gears and get set up and greet people as they're coming into the office for what has been our Wednesday training for so long. And we're going to do that on Thursday. That way I'm consolidating into one day. I can still leave time after the training for networking and mastermind. There's always a lot of conversation about deals and different things that go on after the trainings. So that's what we're gonna do starting May 2nd is a Thursday, right? So Ashley's juggling some people around because our trainers are actually scheduled out to like June, July or something like that on the Wednesdays. So we're gonna kind of juggle that. How does that work for everybody? Is that like a definite no, that's gonna suck, Thursdays are my days for something else, or you think you'll be able to make some adjustments starting in May to continue to plug into that stuff?
Well, for me, for Thursday, it's perfect because I always miss my Wednesday EXP meetings. You know, they're always on Monday morning at 9:30. And so I miss those because I'm always attending yours instead.
Yep.
Yours are more interesting. So
There's a few people in
I don't
Washington
have
that that's the
anything else.
case as
I
well.
don't have,
Even one of your brokers is on our team, and she told me flat out, she says, I'm going to encourage my agents, and she has a few people underneath her. And she's like, they need to be in the state meeting. I love that you're doing this, but state meeting comes first. So
and so I miss those because I always attend yours instead.
yeah.
So it works perfect
Yeah.
for me because
Now you can do both.
I don't have any other things going on Thursdays except for a role play that I can change at 12. It's a role play with with 2 ladies from EXP in Ridgeview, over there by Savannah, Georgia. So they're in the G3 Nation as well with Bill Pipes. So
Cool. Well, and for those of you in Utah, there's a lot of great trainings on Wednesday. I mean, I see a lot of things that I would love to go to. And for whatever reason, I mean, that's the day a lot of people pick. Wednesday at 11 a.m. Mountain is a lot of things that are going on around here locally that we miss out on. So I'm kind of maybe hoping to pick up some of those as well. But anyway, we'll send out a reminder. It's not going to take effect for 3 more Wednesdays, so we still got the next 3 coming up, including this week, right? There's 2 after that. Yep. And then we'll move to Thursdays, all in one day. I know that's a big chunk. For some of you, it's probably better to come in a little bit on Monday and maybe catch on Wednesday if you can. But with all the things that I have going on and that I'm working on, this is just a kind of a needed change for me, and I hope you guys can make it work.
okay, I will try to be there May 2nd, but I will be in Atlanta visiting Ryan before I go to Bill Pipes's event, which is May. I fly from Atlanta to Orlando on Sunday the 5th, but the 2nd of May I will be in Atlanta visiting, but I might be able to, as long as
all right.
Internet.
Well, you can always jump on Zoom like you normally do, but we do record these. And Eric, this is for you. That's the last of my gallon, bitch, right there.
That's impressive. You've been up a while.
Yeah, I have. It's kind of my goal to get my first half gallon in before I'm done with my workout. So Sorry, Eric and I are doing 75 hard. That's what that's all about. What is it, day 29, Eric?
I'll tell you.
Well, Jeff, what did you call it?
29, day 29.
75 hard. Have you never heard of 75 hard?
No.
You have to look it up. Just Google 75 hard. Andy Frizzelli. I know James has done it. Shantae, have you done 75 hard? For some reason, no. I haven't. This is my first time as well. I've never done it before. And so I started, and Eric joined me, so is Lynn, right when we got back from Cabo. So this isn't what I really want to talk to you about today, but just to answer your question, Terry, you have to do 2 workouts a day, minimum of 45 minutes each, and one has to be outside. You have to read 10 pages in a book, not audio. You have to read 10 pages in a book so you can like make notes and everything. You just learn differently in a book. So 10 pages a day. You have to drink the gallon of water. You have to choose a diet, whatever. There's no restrictions on what diet you choose, but you have to choose eat your eating diet or a caloric restriction or something like that, and then just stick to it. And then no alcohol throughout the whole thing. So you, Dante's like, hard no, I'm out.
Each time you said something, she was like, no,
Yeah.
no, no.
It's a discipline, a study in discipline for sure to get all those things in, and you have to get them all done before you go to bed. If you miss one, and you have to take a progress picture of yourself. Like I know Lynn and I are both kind of losing weight. I didn't know I had that much to lose until I look at pictures and it's like, holy shit, I lost 5 pounds just in my face. But I fluctuate between like 8 to 10 pounds down since we started this 29 days ago. I know Eric's over 11. That was where he was last time we checked. And yeah, I mean, I feel great. Eric, you're loving it too, eh?
Oh yeah, I am at 11. It's great. Out of all the things that you have to do, the one that's been the hardest for me is sometimes that second workout. Like I've done 2 workouts after midnight the last week or so. Before, just because you have a really busy day, and then it's okay, I got to get this in, and it can be really tough. And I've been out of water for a long time. Don't miss the alcohol, and it's just like, oh, I got to work out again.
Yeah.
And get up early to get the first workout in the morning. That's been the hardest. Just time for that. Sometimes.
It is, and that's part of the whole discipline of doing it, right? It's like the psychological aspect of getting it done, fitting it in your schedule, doing a time management, making time for it. Sometimes there is no time, so you are forced to do it, and it's like that's another big part of it. Do it whether you feel like or not, right? Be uncomfortable. Sometimes the weather's been pretty shitty too when we're out there exercising, right? I'm fortunate that Lynn's doing it with me, so we do our outdoor exercise and we go on a fast walk through the neighborhood and everything, and we have that time to just talk. And sometimes it's midnight, sometimes it's 9 or whatever. But anyway, didn't really mean to go off. Well, I guess I did since I did. Huh? Oh, we got a bunch of stuff in the chat. What's going on there? Sydney.
Ignore it.
Oh. Okay, let's get started on some of you that were here last week might remember kind of the thoughts that I shared were based on this book I'm reading. Strategic Acceleration is the book I'm reading right now. Really, really good. In the book, in the first chapter, he talked about the effectiveness ladder. There's 4 rungs on the effectiveness ladder. And so just to recap, rung 1 is becoming aware of a need. Basically, you don't know what you don't know. There's technology that's coming out daily, right? There's so many advancements and everything, and there's a lot of things that we don't know. But if we're not aware of it, we don't really know what's missing from our life or that it could actually help our life. The example in the book was using like a global navigation system or like a GPS. If you've never used it before, you really don't even think you need it, and you don't really understand what it is. So that was just an example he gave of something that exists that could make you more effective, but you don't even know about it. So that's rung 1, is just becoming aware of the need. Then rung 2 is clarifying the lead. In this one, you know about it, but you still don't know what it is. So you have to make that decision to either move forward and, you know, go through some discovery to see if it's applicable to your life, or let it pass by. It's like, we can't take advantage of everything that we hear about, right? There's ideas coming at us from all over the place, and we're not going to pursue every single one. So we have to sift and sort. We have to pick what's relevant to our life. One of the things that I mentioned last week that is more relevant in my life today, of things that exist that I know nothing about, that I'm climbing the rungs in this ladder, is there's two things actually. It's cryptocurrency and AI, artificial intelligence. To me, those are things that I have become aware of, and I realize it's not going away. It's only going to become more of our world and society and business and all these things. So I'm kind of now clarifying that need. And I have clarified that need on both those things, that I'm going to pursue getting a little bit more knowledge about those. So rung 3 is to focus on the need. That's when you're actually going to do some homework, do some studying. I have held several networking lunches with people that are in these spaces to kind of see what they're doing. I have another call today. I've done some little demo meetings here in my office. In fact, you're all welcome to join me, Eric. Eric's kind of on this journey with me, kind of looking into some things with cryptocurrency. I met some individuals that had developed a trading bot. I've never used a trading bot before. Eric's knowledge in this world is way up here and I'm way down here. But basically they came to my office and described how they use this. And it immediately connected with Eric because he had previous knowledge that he could connect it to, and said, oh my gosh, this is, you know, this is brilliant. So for you guys, and maybe I'll send something out if you're interested, Wednesday at 2 p.m., these guys are coming back to my office. They're just doing a demo on what they're doing. I've been in their Telegram group for the last couple of weeks, and there's a lot of activity going on in there. They're all, you know, being really successful with the trading that they're doing. But this bot, the reason I'm interested in it, because there's no way I'm going to learn everything about the cryptocurrency market, especially the altcoins and the meme coins and all this stuff that's out there, to be able to pick the right ones. So what I liked about this is it plays off the volatility of the market. And that's usually a negative. Most people say is, oh, it's too volatile, I'd never get involved in that. Well, that's what makes this particular type of trading so successful, is because it counts on the volatility. And so Wednesday at 2 p.m. for you guys that aren't here local, I mean, if you are, like Terry, I think we already talked, maybe. Hopefully you can be here. If not, I am going to do this one on Zoom. So Nathan, Eric's mentioned several times that you would absolutely love what they're doing and connect with it. But you're all welcome to do that. It's the same Zoom link we always use. I'll do that on Wednesday at 2 p.m. our time. Since I brought all that explanation up when I was talking about the rungs of the effectiveness ladder, Eric, do you have anything you want to add on that really quick on that process? Because you're going through it with me.
It just mean adding different things to our lives because we have so much extra time. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, well, that, and specifically about the cryptocurrency and what we've been learning and this bot. I think some of these people might want to be on there Wednesday, but yeah, just in general, as far as incorporating things that we don't know that we should know, and deciding what those things are as well.
Can I ask you a question real quick? So how does this relate to us in our real estate business? That's kind of where my mind goes. Is I know it's great to understand all these other things, but if we're out there trying to buy and sell and help our clients right now, how is this something that you think is important for us to have at team meeting?
Well, I'm not talking about cryptocurrency specifically. I'm talking about the rungs of the effectiveness ladder. So there's more to our lives, hopefully, than just real estate. So the reason I used this as the topic last week is because there are things around us that we're not aware of, that we don't know can help us. And there are things in real estate as well, right? If I was talking about AI, I would be talking about specific applications on how AI can apply to our real estate business. I'm just using this as a personal example for me and something that I realized I wasn't aware of. Then I became aware of, now I'm focusing on it. And then rung 4 is taking action and actually implementing. I've done some discovery with Terry too on some things he's doing in that space. So no, then it doesn't have to do with real estate per se, but
Really
the
does.
talking point of the effectiveness ladder on being aware that we don't know what we don't know.
Actually, it really does. And that's what my point is that it is now listed on the MLS as a way that people can buy. And so if you don't believe it, don't understand it, don't realize that this is actually a real thing, then you need to start knowing that it is. And that is why I feel it's an important thing for us.
Mhm.
Because if you don't like take it as a serious thing and understand that this is literally becoming the monetary system globally in some places, and that so many billions of dollars are being dumped into this, then if you have a client that's saying, hey, or somebody says they want to buy with crypto, you're not going to have any knowledge at all about it if we don't understand it.
You're right. You're right. And so, that's why these two things have become important to me, and why I'm explaining this effectiveness ladder is because it's a process, right? I still feel like completely lost in these Telegram groups I'm in, because I don't understand the lingo. I don't understand that they're speaking from all of this knowledge and they're saying something, and then it starts this whole thread of conversation. And I don't even understand the premise of the conversation. So I can't even participate in it. So it's a learning curve, but it's just like when the internet came out. Or how about online dating? Do you guys remember when online dating came out? It's like how taboo that was. It's like, what? You're going to want to date somebody you met on the computer. And now it's just like commonplace, right? So there's an adoption period for these things that I'm talking about. And they're just the things I'm talking about, but there's an adoption period where it takes a minute for people to actually realize that they're relevant. By then, if we're late in the adoption period, we're behind. So come up with whatever other example you can as what is out there that you've maybe heard about that you've dismissed because it's uncomfortable. It sucks being the most uneducated person in the room, right? We did one with I think it was Terry. I think it was Terry that I was talking to about how being in the room talking about this space, I feel like what some of our clients must feel like when they're talking to us, because we understand real estate, we understand investing, we understand all of the things that go along with it. It's our world, right? And then you've got somebody that's never bought a house before, and they know they should get into real estate investing, they should own a rental property, but they don't know anything. So the tables have turned. I'm that guy that knows nothing. And I'm talking to people that have been doing this for, some of them a decade. This stuff's been around for a while. AI is newer, but I'm talking about the crypto. And they're super, super, super familiar with it. So I feel like I'm doing a good job at getting mentors and getting people that I can learn from. And anyway, Eric, you were going to say something. Lynn, that was a good comment as well. But Eric, did you have anything?
Yeah, Jeff. So a couple thoughts on that is it's really easy to become 100% real estate in our lives because real estate is the best investment in the world. I believe it's proven it over the last 100 years is the most stable and creates the most amount of wealth. But in Richest Man in Babylon, one of the lessons is invest in yourself, pay yourself first, 10%, pay yourself first. So if you are doing that, it's good to have some diversification. So what do you do with that 10% or 20% or whatever you're saving or investing in? It's great to be all in real estate, but there's also some argument for having some diversification. That being said, I like to learn, new opportunities and new things, and I don't allow it to take away from my focus in real estate, right? So what we're talking about on Wednesday literally is if it's something that's attracting to you or something that you're interested in, it's probably 10 or 15 minutes a day to kind of monitor and learn it. So I like that. Another thought too is is we always have, when it comes to learning new things, there's always a tipping point of any new technology or any new idea. And once that tipping point happens, there is no turning back in the world. And I think of, like Jeff said, internet, right? Or AI. If you look at AI, maybe 2 years ago, you could ignore it and say, you know what, I'm going to wait and see if this thing really sticks. Ignore it as long as you can. Don't bring it into your life. But there's a tipping point where AI is not going away. It's going to be a part of our real estate business. So you better learn it and understand it enough where you can have a conversation. And I think, Lynn, that's a great point too about, crypto, Bitcoin. You can purchase homes with, you can purchase anything. It is a viable money currency. So we need to at least have some knowledge of how it works. So when we come across a buyer or, a seller that has some assets in that field, we aren't asking them to teach us the basics. We at least have a general knowledge of it, because crypto and Bitcoin are past the tipping point. They're not going away. It's here to stay, and it's going to increase. So if you haven't done it before, now is a good time to educate yourself and apply that knowledge to real estate.
Well said, Eric. Thank you. I got a clap from Lynn. All right, I skipped over a slide.
You can skip over it.
Yeah, it's the same as last time,
Yeah.
but those of you that don't know, Jelena is in Florida. That's Kitty Cheney's sister. Sabrina is on the James and Shayna Clark team. And she's, we had Florida last time.
That's right.
She's in Kentucky. She's awesome. I've done a Zoom call with her and talked to her a couple of times. So she's one of our newest members of our team. So we're on to this.
Cappers. Heck yeah. Love cappers.
Yep, all cappers. Or is it?
Love that. Free ownership in EXP. I love it.
Yep, those are just the recent ones. I know a lot of us are just reset in March. So we're working on that again. Who's got talking points, things you're working on that are wins, maybe a difficult situation. I like talking about the challenges. I like talking about and getting ideas from each other on things that we might be dealing with. So I'm not going to continue to just ramble. Anybody have anything they want to share here?
I just have a quick question. The slide you just gave us about the times for the new Thursday meetings, I'm assuming those are in Mountain Time, right?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you very well, Kathy. Can you repeat that?
I'm assuming that the times when they start on Thursday are Mountain Time times, right?
Correct. Correct.
So I have to adjust them 1 hour earlier for me. Okay.
Yep. So you'll be 8:30 for Mastermind.
All right.
And I'm going to jump on a little bit early. Where's the slide on that? 15 minutes early so that we can kind of like we always do, start jumping on and we just kind of start chatting and socializing a little bit. So I'll jump on, 15 minutes early and we can visit and stuff like that. So we can, those of you that have to like block in that time, it's like, hey, I'm going to try and attend what I can. We'll get started at 9:30. So I'm going to open that up a little bit early on purpose for that. Anybody? Lynn? I can't tell what she's doing.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I can't. For some reason, my phone is not, very touchy and I have a hard time getting the microphone on. So, I just want to bring up something I think is a really good reach out for everybody for their sphere is anyone that you helped to get into a house or anyone that has been in their house for a while that might have mortgage insurance premium. It's always a really good reach out to just say, hey, just wondering if you've taken a look at the valuation of your house and seeing if you're to a point where you can get that MIP off. Just did that with a client. I'm going to get more details on it. I remember, when we did that when we were in our 20s, and how amazing that felt to have that extra payment off. And so I was just reminded that that's a great way to reach out to your people. You're adding value, you're giving them something, you're not asking for anything. And, just a reminder that anyone that bought a few years ago, like my people, have 50% equity. So I'm like so excited for them. And it's only been a few years.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, Lynn. I was just saying, I just helped one of my clients who is buying now save about $400 off of his mortgage of his current residence that he's renting out. So that really helped in his income qualification for buying his new place.
Isn't that
Awesome.
so good? It just feels so good to be able to do something where the reward is that you're helping people get in a better financial position.
Yeah, and so many people just don't even know that that's an option to them. So, yeah, I mean, I'm currently working on a new offer this morning and a new listing, some acreage property out in the greater Dallas area. And I've been super surprised that in the last week, acreage property has been receiving offers like the same day it's on market, which
Oh, wow.
is rare in this market, but it's really rare like anytime with most acreage properties, at least around here. So it's been interesting.
Well, I think it's had a really major shift here too. So anything that's listed under 400,000 is not staying on the market. And I was in a 11 offer situation. So it's just changing a little here too. We didn't have that problem a few months ago.
A lot of competitiveness for the entry level price range that's disappearing, and that floor is continuing to rise. And so people are, they're talking about NAR and the commissions and all of this stuff. And yes, some people are going to be affected by that, but there's a lot of people that are like Lynn just experienced putting in offers. Didn't you even have some appraisal gaps in there?
Yes. So what he said to me is that he had some people with non-refundable earnest money upon acceptance. You guys, this is a house. So Shantae, you probably don't, and Kathy, you don't know this area, but this is Magna. So this is a little 1,100 square foot house in Magna that was listed at $389. And he told me he had 11 offers, all above list, up to 420. And some had non-refundable earnest money, and there were many that said they would pay above appraisal. Now, it did have a little detached garage, so that was the thing that was different. But I haven't seen that, and it was just kind of crazy to hear that those things might be coming back a little. So when I say as Magna's one of those places where our best pricing is.
Mm-hmm.
Our very best pricing. Tooele, Tooele used to be our best pricing. It's not really anymore. Grantsville's even doing well. But yeah, there's a lot of people that will say, I'll go everywhere, but not Magna. So
I actually have hot sheets set up to excluding that area. And it's fine. It's just by comparison in the valley here, there's a lot of more desirable places to be. All righty, let's move on then. Rather than me talk about me, anybody have any comments on last week's training?
It was awesome, Jeff. You did such a great job.
That's exactly what I was looking for. Thanks.
And I was gonna say you were on fire. You were on fire, Jeff, last week.
it was absolutely
So
amazing.
good, Jeff.
Who is that, Shantae? Or Shayna?
No, that was me, Hillary. I just said I loved it. Great job.
Oh, hi, Hillary. Thank you.
Great stories, great application, and great advice on, how to get started or how to continue. I love that it's you know, I love the example of the two best times to plant a tree are 20 years ago and today, right? So it was a really good reminder that there's never a bad time to buy real estate when you look at the past 100 years, no matter what. And that's a good reminder for us and our clients too. We got to see some real life examples of what a lot of time and effort can grow over the years. I mean, I've known you guys forever, so I know how there's times where you're doing cartwheels because you're breaking even, working your butt off all week on these properties. You're just so excited that you're not losing money. Then there's other times you are losing money. So for it to all start to work well, you know, the way you planned it is really powerful, and you can't do that with every investment. So it's great. I'm going to share this with so many people, a lot of investors. Like, I know I'll be showing this YouTube video a year from now or 2 years from now with buyers I haven't even met yet that are going to be interested in creating something that you're doing. So yeah, it's a very useful tool in the future too. Thank you.
And it's a great class on mindset. A lot of the quotes that you used just kind of shows where your mind is. There's different places your mind can go in different times of your life. And just a lot of the quotes and the things that you used were just really motivating, and they were real life. And I even knew the whole story, and I was really intrigued in the whole time. You had my attention. And yeah, just the energy was really good. And you can tell how much you are passionate about it. And it also shows that I don't care what kind of market we're in, if there's a will to do it, you're going to figure out a way to do it. I remember you going out and knocking on doors and coming back and saying, you know what, I found 4 people that want to do lease options with me, you know, and you're an introvert. So you can't use that as an excuse either, you know? Well, maybe you're not an introvert anymore. I don't know. But anyway, it was amazing. And some of the people that were there really, really needed to hear the things that you were saying.
Well, and I think that you mentioned the mindset. I talked to a couple of people after, and they thought they were going to hear more deals, more. They weren't complaining, but they're like, you know, lessons learned were about transactions, right? But some of the most important takeaways for me throughout our investing career is just the mindset that made it happen. Because I think people get hung up on either misinformation or no information or short-term information, and they don't take any action. It's kind of applicable to this, the 4 rungs of this ladder too, right? You know, for our clients and for other people, becoming aware of the need, clarifying the need, focusing on the need, and then executing on the need. There's a progression to where you take action. And when you're looking at this, the reason I went back, because we've been doing this for so long, is because now you can predict the future. You can look forward, and people need to make that correlation that over time, owning a scarce commodity or asset like real estate in a geographical area that is building out. It's being able to live in Salt Lake County is getting more and more difficult. We're surrounded by mountains. We're in this bowl right here, right? So people are having to go on the other side of the mountain out towards Tooele, or go down into the next county, go south or go north. And so when you pick real estate for the long term, it really is predictable. It really is. I know Terry's done really, really well with his investments. And it didn't start that long ago. So another important thing is our age really doesn't matter. If we've got, you know, a foreseeable future that we plan on being here, like Eric mentioned, the time to start is today. Not like just concentrate on the regret of we wish we would have done more sooner. Because I hear that a lot. People in personal conversations with me, it's like, oh man, I wish I would have started when you did. Well, of course. But you're gonna, hopefully in 5 or 10 years, you're gonna be looking back and say, at least I started in 2024. So that is in our YouTube channel if anybody wants to visit that, if you didn't see it or share it. And then this is this Wednesday. He's been here before. This is Anthony. He came in and sponsored lunch at one of our trainings, and he talked about stress He talked about anxiety. He talked about physical health and wellness in a brief little time as a lunch sponsor. But as a chiropractor, he understands how his profession ties into all of that. And just to give him a plug, when he was here last time, I haven't been in an accident. I haven't had an injury. Don't have anything that was really bothering me that I'm like, oh my gosh, I need a chiropractor. But the things he was talking about on just overall wellness, because I'm pretty big on preventative maintenance. Some of you know I go get a massage every Wednesday night. I've been doing that for almost 5 years. Every Wednesday night I get a massage. And it's not because I'm so sore and I'm so tense and I need that, but the movement of our muscles and the blood flow and all the positive benefits that I get from that keep me healthy. I'm experiencing the same thing with this couple of months that I've been going to the chiropractor regularly. I didn't know what I didn't know. I mean, some of the tension that I was holding, I thought it was because I work out every day. And he's released some areas of my neck and my back that my range of motion is better, my posture is better, my overall well-being is better. So anyway, he's going to be speaking on stress overload syndrome that has to do with real estate agents, right? But also anybody in general that is experiencing these things. I'm sure he's going to tie in the chiropractic angle, but it's more than just that. So how to deal with this is what he's going to be talking about on Wednesday. That was a long commercial. The week after that, I'm gonna let you maybe kind of give a brief introduction on who's coming in the week after that.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this a little bit last week, but we've got Mikkel and Austin Kaiser coming in. They're from Fulfill Life Yourself, which is a program that my mom and I did. It's all about rewiring your brain and learning to think differently. And so their topic that they chose was why discipline doesn't work. And I think they're just gonna really talk to us a lot about the different ways that we can use our brains to overall just enhance our lives. Mom, do you have anything to say?
There's the damn mute button.
Sharing it on mute or so.
There you go.
I think that I'm excited to have him come. Austin just lost his brother to suicide a few months ago. And I'm sure they'll share a little bit about mindset and what they've learned from that. I've had quite a few people in my sphere lose daughters, husbands, things like that lately because of mindset and the way that people are thinking, or I really don't know what it all entails as to why people are doing it more than it feels. Maybe it's because we have social media and so everyone can know everything. But what I've learned the most from the program is literally how to shift myself from being nervous, anxious, maybe feeling like I've upset someone, or just all kinds of weird things that we get from our maps from growing up when we're children. It's taught me just how to shift myself very easily from emotions I don't want to emotions that I do want. And I'm not really sure if Mikkel's what they're really going to talk about in this class. All I know is that when I really was needing something, this program, it's all about neuroplasticity of our brain, which is super popular. If you watch, TED Talks, listen to YouTube, that we actually have more power than we think we do. A lot of us live and let life happen to us, but in actuality, we have control of it. We just might not think we do. But anyway, it's been pretty impactful for me in a lot of ways that I didn't even realize I needed. So that's my feeling about it. I think it'd be too.
This would be a good one to invite anybody that you know that is kind of struggling with mental health, or if they have loved ones that are struggling, because that's what they do, is they help people shift their mind out of that space. So it's a good one to just reach out to anybody that you know. Not necessarily just real estate agents.
For sure.
Well, and for me right now, I love real estate and I love being self-employed and I love being an entrepreneur. But what I also love, besides my family, is being healthy and strong and having my mind in the right place and being excited about life and being able to be the light that people need right now. And I want that to be incorporated into what we talk about here, what our classes are. It doesn't just have to be about, okay, how do we go get more business? How about how do we be healthier and happier and help those around us to be that way? That's why I like this kind of thing, because I think if we're well-rounded, we're much better agents. You know, with the 75 hard that the three of us are doing, we're reading books, and the books that I've chosen have been like The Go-Giver. I'm reading The Seven Sultans right now, and even though I know all these concepts, or I believe that I have learned them in the past, they're just solidifying right before I go to bed, all of these major things, and just the whole concept of giving and helping and loving and is, I just think it should be a major part of every one of our business and our life. And that's what I would like, is for us to have a lot of that in with our real estate learning.
I agree. Personal development's really important, and that's one of the shifts Ashley and I are making, is in purposely incorporating more of that into our trainings, because you guys can go learn how to do a CMA at the Board of Realtors. You guys can, you know, some of these CE classes from the title companies, which we have coming up as well, they're useful and they're practical in our business and they're applicable. But if we can't have the right mentality, mindset, and happiness, then it affects our business, no matter how much knowledge we have in that arena. So I like this. I like that, Lynn, you mentioned maps. For those of you who don't know, I mean, we all develop maps over our life. It's just the way we operate, right? The way we think and the way we do things. And it's been influenced by past experiences and people and knowledge and all that kind of stuff in our life, but we can change those. Lynn also mentioned neuroplasticity. Our brains are more pliable and capable of changing than we realize. How many of you, like myself, have said over the years, that's just the way I am? That's just the way I am. I used to say, whoever brought it up, I can't do that. I'm too introverted to do that. That's uncomfortable for me. That was my map until I changed it and created a new one. And so anyway, that's a great touch, even if they don't come, just your SOI, your previous clients, and having these conversations and bringing it up and inviting them kind of shows them that you're more than just about real estate. So that's my personal opinion on why I like trainings like that. So that's next Wednesday.
And we do have a CE class coming up.
Yep, after that is a CE class. For those in Utah, it'll just be Utah, but that is 2-hour core CE class. And I like this one because there's not very many distressed properties as compared to the downturn in like 08, 9, 10, 11, all through that period. But there are still people that, even with equity in their properties, they're getting themselves in trouble financially. And so this is really good on how to deal with those situations and how to help people. I had a good conversation with him. We created a teaser trailer that's probably already up on that site.
Yep.
So that would be good. A little bit more business, but it's still geared around helping people, right? People that are in that situation need us. And that brings us to our parting thoughts by none other than the one and only Eric Jones.
All right. That's a nice segue about, about learning things from outside of real estate and mindset. Great stuff. So Jeff mentioned that we're the three of us are doing 75 hard. I think my wife Michelle is doing 75 soft because she's not quite 100% there. She started out with a bang, but she's dropped off a little bit.
That's awesome.
she works out all the time anyway, but yeah. So it's been a lot of fun. But the reason I've got David Goggins up here is because when we started 75 Hard, I decided that would be the first book that I would read. And I decided to listen to the audio again because he has a lot of stories that aren't in his book. And it's just really inspirational. It's fantastic. It only took about 6 days to go through this. So I finished it, 3 weeks ago. But it's funny, the reason I want to talk about it today is because I still think about it every day, even though I'm on to reading and listening to different things because of what I'm working on in 75 Hard. And he has so many great quotes, great stories that are all motivational for kind of personal development. And a lot of it is health related and, going through some physical barriers to be stronger, but it all applies to everything else we do in life, the mental strength, business, and our personal and physical strength as well. I really like this quote. Self-talk and visualization are the two keys to my success. And the first time I heard this and I looked at it, it's easy to look at it, read it, and it sounds pretty simple. And like a lot of other quotes you've heard, right? It's a simple inspirational quote, but I actually see 3 important things here. The first one is self-talk. The second one is visualization. And the third one is success. So if you break those down a little bit, self-talk is really that voice in your head. I talk about it a lot. The voice in your head that you have to control. Because as you go through life, real estate, personal, relationships, whatever happens, negative things happen that you don't plan. They don't come up the way that you want them to. So it's easy for that self-talk voice in your head to be negative. David Goggins focuses really heavy on keeping that a positive mindset, that is your most important tool that you have, is the self-talk voice in your head. The second piece, visualization, is awesome because it is about visualizing the finish line. And I know we hear a lot, hey, enjoy the moment, live in the now. Don't just focus on the reward that sometimes is so far out in the future you forget about today. But if you are visualizing something that is going to happen and it's in your life and you're doing something for it every day, if you are visualizing something, it's going to happen at a much higher rate as if you visualize something in the future. So do something today that's going to make that why can't I say that word today? Visualization. Have it happen the way you want. So it looks like one quote are the keys to success, but those are 2 completely different things. So you can have self-talk and create that visualization to manifest that success. So I'm going to share a couple other quotes from David just in preparation for what we're going to talk about next week and what we can review. The second one is a quote. He says, when you look in the mirror, that's the one person that you cannot lie to. And I love this too, because like I mentioned, we're doing the 75 Hard. There's been a couple times where I've actually done my workout I actually did one at 2:30 in the morning. It was so stupid. I was busy that day and I had to get everything. I had no choice. I had to work that late because of some deadlines. And Michelle had been asleep for like 5 hours. No one would ever know if I didn't work out that night. But I thought about this quote, when you look in the mirror, that's the one person you can't lie to. So I had to do it so I could look in the mirror and say, hey, I am still on target. A final quote, he says, I don't stop when I'm tired. I stop when I'm done. So finish what you are working on, what your goals are, what your visualization is in the future. focus on those things in your mind and in your self-talk, and don't quit until you're done. So I'm going to share a couple cool stories next week that a couple of my favorite ones from David. But over the next week, I think it'd be really cool is if you pick a goal or two that you're working on. Maybe it's a long-term goal, maybe it's a short-term goal, and think about what you tell yourself every single week, every single day about that goal that's down the future, and just maybe write them down or keep a mental note of what you're thinking about in your head. And if it's affecting, if you're going to make that goal, because it's something visual in the future, and look yourself in the mirror and say, am I actually doing this? What is my self-talk? Am I hitting those goals? And then we'll go through some of those stories. And I'd love to hear anyone next week, some of your goals and kind of how that self-talk and checking yourself in the mirror every day is helping you progress faster and making sure that it happens. So that's it, Jeff. The end.
I love it. I love it. Self-talk is super important, but visualization is really important too. So I think out of the two, visualization is probably even more important to when you see your life as if it is already there. Like as an example, I have, some of you already know this, that Lynn and I picked out the house we live in when we were like 23 years old, like the exact house. We're going to live there someday. And we talked about it. We thought about it. I would drive by it and look at it, wonder who lived there. It was crazy. And then, of course, now we're there. Great homework too. Look forward to recapping on that next week, Eric. That was a great topic.
Perfect. Perfect example, Jeff. Great. And if you guys haven't read this, I suggest listening to it on audiobook. Because that Shantae mentioned that the audio is so good, because he's actually David's on the audio as well, even though there's a different reader. The reader brings him in and he tells some stories that are not in his book that are really powerful. And it's not a book for the mild either, you know. I was like, I think, man, I'd like my 16-year-old to listen to this. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That's a pretty brutal story sometimes. So just a heads up.
I like that you're doing that, Eric. I'm doing the same thing. I'm reading this physical book, but I'm also listening to it on Audible. And it's interesting because Audible's super accessible when we're doing something else. When we're reading a book, we have to be reading the damn book, right? And I have a highlighter or a pen or something like that, and we're present. So it's been interesting to me to see. I'm almost done with the audio version, but I'm not that far in the book. That as I'm reading the book, I'm way past that in the audio, and I'm reading stuff that I don't even remember.
Right. It's really interesting. And
Yeah.
it's, you know, reading a physical book 10 minutes a day is actually hard. To say, I'm going to set aside 10 minutes every day and make sure that I read for 10 minutes. It's just as hard to stop after 10 minutes. Right. So once you're reading for 10 minutes, you just want to keep going. So it's a really good, it's a good practice to get into just in general. And I think David actually said, we've heard this from so many different people, how long it takes to create a habit. He actually says in the book, I think it was 66 days to create a habit, not 21 days, like we've all heard. So hence 75 hard. Maybe it'll be a habit for us, Jeff. Who knows?
Well, I'm finding that interesting. We're on day 29, and I can agree with the 21 days as well, right? I mean, I'm doing things that I want to continue. So as Lynn, we've talked about that, but I'm only, you know, so I'm like, what, a third the way into it. Still have quite a bit to go, and I can just see that the behaviors will become kind of second nature. And whether I'm doing a challenge and I have to check off that box every day or not, there's definitely mindset, discipline, and habits that are going to continue after this. So, and we can apply that to anything, you know, make up your own 75 hard.
So Jeff, what again is the name of that book you're reading?
It is called Strategic Acceleration. On the cover, it says, learn the 3 secrets of success in uncertain economic times: clarity, focus, and execution. Create faster results by managing your high leveraged activities. Take action to understanding positive and negative procrastination. That's what I was listening to today. I mean, procrastination can be a good thing. It depends on what you're procrastinating, right? It could be something that we don't necessarily need to be spending our time on, but we want to. And if we put that off, you know, that's a good way to procrastinate things so you can concentrate and prioritize on the good things. But really, really good as far as accelerating your success. When you have a roadmap or this ladder of effectiveness like he's talking about, and you can see the steps and you can apply those sooner, it's kind of taking me out of the mode of just thinking about doing something and actually doing it. So again, for you, Conrad, strategic acceleration, Tony Geary, I met him ironically at an EXP event. And I bought this book right after, and I never read it. But I'm reading it now because the strategic acceleration has a lot to do with where I'm at in my life and some of the reallocation of Lynn and I's assets and some things. It's like, just get about it already. You've been thinking about this for 4 freaking years and you haven't done anything. So it's relative to where I'm at right now. And it's really good, Conrad. I think you'd like it. Strategic acceleration.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So have you read any of Dan Sullivan's books?
Yes, I love Dan Sullivan.
Yeah. So have you read 10 times is easier?
10x is easier than 1x or 2x or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've listened to it. I haven't read it like this
Okay.
we're talking about now. One of my favorites that I have mentioned a lot is The Gap and the Gain.
Right.
He also wrote Who Not How.
Yeah.
He's got an incredible podcast. Jordy Clark is in his coaching program called Strategic Coaching, and absolutely credits it to changing his life and his marriage and his business and everything. But yeah, Dan Sullivan is amazing.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool. And to wrap things up, Eric, any final thoughts on agent attraction? And then we'll let everybody go.
Yeah, for sure. I think the correlation of your class on Wednesday was a really great example of revenue share and what it can do. I know that you didn't buy 50 houses in 1 year. It took time and growth, and it's kind of similar to agent attraction and building relationships and teams over time. And you are also reaping benefits from what you did years and years ago. And I think of agent attraction as very much the same thing. This month, I'm getting paid for things that I did a few years ago, which is really nice. So if you have a really busy time in real estate, you're still getting paid for what you did in the past. If you're not as busy and you can work more on agent attraction, you can help grow that attraction down the road. And it's really amazing to me that everything that we have in EXP, the tools that they offer, the education, and the stock that is gifted to us for just doing production and introducing other agents, the company does that with only 10% of the total commission that anyone receives on any transaction. I think that's really incredible. The rest go back to the agents in the form of commission or revenue share. So for us to have the opportunity to do that is tremendous. And I think, we don't necessarily, Jeff, share like our personal revenue share very often, what's going on. But, I'd say the last year, Michelle and I were really busy in real estate, and then we had a couple slow months. And for a revenue share check to come in this month for over $3,000 is really cool. I mean, that's really amazing to have that come in. And I look at it, it's like, these are transactions from agents that love being a part of what we're doing and are grateful to be a part of EXP. And A lot of them thank me all the time. Thanks for thinking of me. I'm so glad I'm here. This is the best experience we've had in a real estate brokerage, and we appreciate you. And EXP is rewarding us for enhancing their lives and sharing EXP with them. And I think that's really, really powerful. So just keep that in mind. It's like it's something that it is like an investment in yourself, and anything that you can receive that's paid passively and residually for, getting paid multiple times for something that you did one time is really, really incredible. And I'm really grateful for where I'm at. And I thank Jeff and Lynn all the time for introducing me to EXP. So when you're out in the world and you meet agents and talk to agents, talk to them about EXP from a point of, I really would like this for you if it's something that you would be interested in, because it's made my life better. So don't think about what it can do for you. Think about what it can do for them. Because that's how I look at EXP for me, is I look at how great it's been for me because Jeff and Lynn wanted to share something that they saw was very interesting and very different. So that was kind of my thought. It kind of correlated with your class. I thought about revenue share during your class as well, and how they're quite similar. It's like it takes you're kind of underpaid at the beginning, and then you're overpaid later. And if you calculate like all the work that you've done, say on one property over the years, the beginning, you were losing money, losing time, losing money, losing time over and over and over. And then there's a tipping point where you start earning more than what you've invested, but it continues for years and years and years. And that correlates really well with revenue share as well, I think.
It really does.
So just some observations this week is all I have.
No, that was a great share, and it teaches patience too, right? With real estate, with revenue share, and of course, I think everybody here can agree that one of the greatest things about agent attraction is the relationships that you're able to develop over time by doing stuff like this. So, I mean, we love every one of you, and we're glad you're here. And I know some have come and some have moved on to do what's best for them, and that's all good, because all we want, and I like what you said, Eric, is just treat it like you're offering something that could help somebody else. It's the same thing we do with our clients, right? Go and serve them. What are their needs? See if we can help them accomplish their needs, and that's our business. That's our business. The same thing with revenue share. It's not really about us. It's about those that need something like that. It's got balloons going. Amazing.
That's cool. It really is a gift, and that's what I like about it. It's a gift.
That's a great closing statement, unless Balloon Lady has anything to say.
Yes, no, it is a gift. Yeah, I'm really grateful, because I think of the people that are in my life today that make me super, super happy. Most of it's because of EXP. And I wouldn't have met them if it weren't for EXP. And even those people that have moved to somewhere else or decided not to do real estate anymore, they're still my friends. Still check in on them, make sure they're okay. And I don't know, it's been a major blessing for us. And not to mention, it's fun. And there's so many things you can gamify within EXP that I couldn't gamify in KW.
It really is powerful. And you made me think of something too. It's like when I started real estate 20 years ago, we didn't have Zoom. We didn't have online meetings. Everyone was required to come to the office if you wanted to have any interaction with other agents that you weren't doing transactions with. But over time, we have the internet, we have Zoom, everything is so much easier to conduct business without physically being with somebody. And then COVID accelerated that in a dramatic pace. And we're never going to go back. It's never going to be the way it was pre-COVID or the way it was 15 or 20 years ago. So to have relationships, and friendships within our real estate business with agents that we work with. Most agents don't have that where they're at. So it's really powerful. And I learn from everybody on these calls too. I mean, we all do, you know. I take things that James and Shayna have shared. I've done things that Nathan has come up with. He's been an agent for just what, 2 or 3 years. I've got a lot more experience in, but he's come up with ideas that I use that help me in my business, which is really cool. I love that.
Jeff had to run to the bathroom. He couldn't hold it any longer.
It's all right. As James said, the end, right?
Yes.
We are
If I-
good.
If I can make a comment too on both Eric and Lynn's comments too, because, you know, January 31st was a turning point for me, because I finally decided at that time that, you know, I am going to work in real estate a couple more years, maybe 2 more years. You know, I am 73, but that's part of the whole reason that I'm here. I mean, I have my daughter here and my 2 grandkids, but surprisingly, I don't see them that often. They're close by. I mean, 40 minutes drive, but you guys are people, you guys, and even with Bill Pice and the G3 Nation people, even though I haven't met a lot of people, this is my social point, is part of what we do. It's not really so much social, but I mean, yeah, I've met you, Eric, and Jeff and Lynn and Ashley, you know, and all his kids, you know. But that's where I feel like I've made friends, even though even if I haven't seen you in person or anything, I've made friends online just like this. And I think that was a big part of why I decided to stay in this, because it gives me somebody to talk to at least. My husband doesn't talk a lot. So, you know, so I really enjoy all of this comments. And if I left real estate right now, I wouldn't have any of this. So I'm very, very appreciative of these meetings and these gatherings and so forth. So I just wanted to put that in there.
Well said. I love it, Kathy.
And we love having you here. And since Kathy just kind of like took us home and we're ending up, Kathy is going to share some thoughts with us next week. Huh,
I hope
Kathy?
so.
Yes.
Yes, you are. And sorry, guys, this is why I had to run.
We know.
I tried really hard.
And I take medication so I don't have to go to the bathroom so often. Comes with old age, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, guys. Love you all. Have a fantastic Monday, and Wednesday's training is going to be awesome. And if you can, write it on your calendar to join Eric and I at 2 p.m. On Zoom or in the office if you want to kind of look at what we're looking at, and just kind of like gain some information and knowledge in that arena. Okay.
Have a fantastic week. Go get them.
See ya.